Hello all, welcome to Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering for Women, Pune. This is our data science YouTube channel and here is another video for you guys. Before we go ahead, I would like to introduce you to my team members who put forth this data science mini project. Myself, Yutika Vora, followed by Pranali Jamdade and Swamini Sontakke. Let me tell you what the flow of the video would be like. I would give you a brief introduction of what our topic is and what it is based on, followed by Pranali and Swamini who will tell you how we have built this project. Our topic is clothing recommender system. Now, for each one of you to know what a clothing recommender system is, uh, we have created this project as a little role model to what and how it is related to fashion. Motivation behind this project. Our motivation stemmed from the simple question, what is fashion? Now, as exclusive people who are into this world and generation of the 2021, we see innumerous ways where socially we have been built with and bound to fashion. Each one has different knowledge about fashion. So, how do we translate this knowledge of ours to our computers? As we know, fashion is definitely an evolving topic. Today, you might like something, and tomorrow it might be outdated. But it would definitely come back into fashion some or the other day. So, let's just focus. So, our motivation was basically on focusing what is in trend and how to influence this. So, the project is built on the topic of content based filtering. Now, what is content based filtering? Content based filtering uses item features to recommend other items to what the user likes. So, if I am already previewing few things, uh, there are different platforms that suggest you that this is the item that you viewed, and hence we recommend you that this will be another item that you might like. For example, while we're watching Netflix shows, as everyone is so bound to Netflix shows in today's time, uh, we see that we tend to watch a web series or a movie and then we have recently viewed section, and then followed by that we have another section on our YouTube on our Netflix profile that says you might like. Now this you might like is something that is based on recommendation, and this recommendation comes from content based filtering. That means the previously viewed content, it is based on that. So this is very specific to the user profile. It depends completely upon what the user has been watching and what he might like. So it is very specific to one person and not to the whole lot or category, or what it means like to see if other people like this thing or not. Advantages of this model are that the model does not need any data about the users. Now, this is very basically based on what you have viewed and what you might like. It is not at all based on a survey or a questionnaire. Hence, this is the advantage of the system, and it makes scale to a large number of users. The model can capture the specific interests of a user by knowing the user's already viewed content. You can know a few more things about a user's personality, and then you can recommend things he might be interested in. Disadvantages: since the feature representation of items are hand engineered, that means it is based on a person's knowledge of the requires the technique of domain knowledge, and therefore the model can be as good as hand engineered features that is specific to human features and not to the group. Model can only make recommendations based on existing interest of the user. We cannot put forth other ideas, that is what is trending, as to like what other people might also like. It is very specific to one person. Overview of this project: it is a recommendation system based on content based clustering, as we've already talked about what content based clustering is, and similar items or groups of clusters are formed using pairwise cosine distances. Now the engine uses information about 1,80,000 products nearly, and each product will have multiple features. uh, Actually, there were supposed to be around uh, 183k data points, which we've reduced to 28k data points, that is 28,000 data points, and the features were around 19 features that we've reduced to only 7 features for a mini project and a mini model view. We worked on these 7 features, like features like title of the product, brand of the product, color of the product, type of the product, image of the apparel, and followed by we have saved the data files in major step of processing in pickle files. Pickle files are another file saving option provided by Python, where on every moment you can save your file, so that if you get stuck anywhere the code can be retained, or and it does not take too long, so we may use pickle files. After removing most similar duplicates, we have almost around 17,593 data points from 18,000 data points, and we've used NLTK library for removing the stop words. That is, stop words are basically those words which we use for expressions while we talk and which are not important while we are writing or when we are recommending things. So we have used another method called as BO, TF-IDF, and the flow for a particular method is as follows. We get the result, and then we have text to vector, then plot heat image, plot heat map, and display image. This will be explained further by our fellow mates, and they'll let you know how it works in the code. What is TF-IDF? This is basically full formed into term frequency inverse document frequency. It is a metric that represents how important a word is to the document set. Now, this library uses and shows if every word is important to this document or not, and basically it is based on natural language processing. That is another feature of Python, where natural language processing says what and how any language can be human readable as well as known to the computer in the human language form itself. Our helper function will recommend us similar apparels using docid variable, which is similar to query, and we have used pairwise distance to compare similarities between clusters. Thank you so much. For the further code explanation, I would like Pranali to take over.
Hello everyone, myself Pranali. Today I'm going to explain you our project code. So let's begin with the code. First of all, we need to import the all necessary packages. So from PIL we are importing the image. So PIL is the Python imaging library which provides the Python interpreter with image editing capabilities. From PIL we are importing the image module which provides a class with same name which is used to represent a PIL image. After that we are importing request IO, bytes IO, matplotlib, numpy, pandas, warnings, bs4. From bs4 we are importing beautiful soup. So beautiful soup and the request are useful to extract the required information from the web pages. Then we are importing from NLTK we are importing stop words. Then we are importing libraries like NLTK, math, time, REOS, cbone, etc. So NLTK is used to tokenizing the words and the sentences using NLP, that is natural language processing. The the RE is used to find the same words. Then collection, like we are importing collections from import counter. So a counter is a dictionary like object designed to keep the tallies. With a counter, a key is the item to be counted and value is the count. Then we are importing sklearn and matplotlib and so many libraries. So after importing all necessary packages, we need to load our data. So we are going to read our data. So pd.read json. So our data set is stored in the json file. So we are reading that json file. After reading, we need to know that how many rows and columns are there in our data set. So uh, after running this line of code, we get the number of data points that are present in our data set. So 1,83,138 number of data points are present in our data set with 19 features. Now we are printing the total features present in the data set. So these are some features which are present in our data set, so like brand, color, publisher, etc. Now for this particular project, we are going to use only 7 features out of 19, and we are discarding remaining 12 from the data set. So the features which are going to use in our project are American Standard ID number, brand, color, medium, image, URL, product type name, title, and formatted price. Now again we are printing the number of rows and column present in the data frame. So as we can see here, there are 7 features which are going to use in our project. Now we are printing the data sets. So let's print the head of data set. So as we can see here, there are 7 columns, that is features, and 1,83,000 rows, that is products. So let's do some statistics. Now first of all, we are checking for product type name with its description, which will tell about its count, uniqueness, frequency, and data type. So as we can see here, there are total 1,83,138 number of data points are present in our data set with 72 unique points. Then the top products which is present in our data set is shirt, and which has a frequency of 1,67,794, and it has a data type object. So 91.62% of the products are shirt. Now we are printing the name of different products which are present in our data set. So as we can see here, shirt, accessories, handbag, etc. These are the products which are present in our data set. Now from collections, we are importing the counter. As I explained earlier, the counter is a dictionary like object designed to keep the tallies. So here we are printing the top 10 most frequent product type names. So the shirt is at the top, then apparel, books, dress, etc. With its frequency. Now we are checking for the brand of the product. So as we can see here, the count of the brand is 1,82,987, the, with 10,577 unique brands. Now we are printing top 10 brands present in the data set. So Zago, which has frequency of 223, is the topmost brand present in our data set. Now we are checking for the color of the product. So there are 64,956 products which has the color in our present in our data set, in which the 7,380 unique colors are present in our data set, that is 7.2% of products are black in color. Now we're gonna check for the topmost color present, top 10 most frequent color present in our data set. So At the top it's black, then white, blue, red, and so on. Now we are checking for the formatted price of the product. So here we can see that only 28,395 project has the formatted price, in which the 3,135 products has the unique price. So other values for the price are missing. Now we are printing the top 10 products which has the price. So only 15.5% of whole products has the price information, and others are none. Now we are checking for the title of the product. So it seems that all of the products which are present in the data set have the titles only, and 1,75,985 products has the unique title. So from this we can say that all of the products have the titles. So here titles are fairly descriptive of what the product is. So we will use titles extensively in this project, as they are short and informative. By watching the count, we can say that the title feature is available for most items, that it makes it very important feature too. So now the most important step in our project is for checking the null values that present in our data set. So after running this line of code, we can say that the color and the formatted price have the highest null values. So to remove this, after running this line of code, this will store all those values whose formatted price is not null, with not null. So with the same with color. So what we are doing, we are removing the values which has the null values. So after removing those values, we have the data points for after eliminating the number of data points after eliminating the price, we have 28,395 data points, and after removing the data points of color, we have 28,385 points. Now what we did, we brought down the number of data points from 1,83,000 to 28,000. So we are processing only 28,000 data points, so that we can run this code on laptop in a reasonable amount of time. Now we are finding the number of products which have the exactly same title. So after running this line of code, we get to know that there are 2,325 number of products which has the same title. So we are removing those products. So at last we have if the title has very few words and it's of little use, so we are removing those titles. So after removal of short titles, we have only 27,949 products, that is data points, present in our data set. So these are the some examples of duplicate titles which only differs in last few words. Now we are sorting the data according to the title in alphabetical order. So here is the our data set now look like. So this is the first part of our project. So now the next part of code will be explained by Swamini. Thank you.
Hello all, myself Swamini, and I will be explaining the remaining part of the code of our apparel recommendation system project. So we had seen the code till here, where we had sorted the data frame in the alphabetical order. So this is how our data frame looks like after sorting. So let's move ahead. Here we are going to remove the duplicates from the data frame. So initially we have declared a list, an empty list called indices, and we will be iterating throughout the data frame, and we would be storing the index and series from each row of the data frame into this list called indices. So using the for loop we will iterate, and then we will store values in the indices list. So next we are importing the itertools library. Here itertools is a library that makes iterating faster and much more efficient than the regular methods we use for iterating. So whenever we have large data or a lot of iterations, this library helps us. So here also we have declared a empty list, and as well as we have declared two variables I and j initialized with 0. Now here in num data points variable we will be storing the number of rows from the data frame. Here if you see we have used a while loop, and we will be iterating throughout the rows of the data frame using the I and the j variable, where I and j's value will be less than the number of rows in the data frame. Now here we are assigning i's value to a variable previous I. We'll understand its use as we go further. Now if you see here, for the ith row we will be considering the title, and we will be splitting the title into words, and we will be storing it into a. And here we are initializing j as I plus 1. So I and j are two consecutive rows, you can say, of the data frame. Again we are checking for j's value, and in this while loop we'll do the same thing as we did for the ith row's title. So for the jth row's title also we'll split the title, and we'll store the words in a variable b. And we'll now check the lengths of a and b, and we'll store the maximum of them in this max length variable. Also we are considering a variable count which is initialized to 0. This will store the number of words that are matched between a and b. So let's see how we do that. So itertool dot zip longest ab is a function from the itertools library which will map corresponding words in both strings. So if there are in case no similar words in both the sentences, none will be appended using this function. So now here we are passing a and b to this itertools dot zip longest function, and now we are checking if there are any matching words. If there are, then we will be incrementing the value of count by 1. Now here we are checking max length minus count is greater than 2. If it is so, then we will be appending the as index of the ith row in this first list that we had declared, the stage 1 list. And also we are checking another condition, if j is num data points minus 1, like if j is the second last the last row of the data frame. If it is so, instead of the ith row we will be appending jth row's as index in this list. Then we will assign j's value to I, and we'll break out of this while loop. So the break is for this while loop. Now if in case this condition is not true, then we will be simply incrementing j's value. And now here we will be checking if i's value is equal to the previous I. So initially we had stored i's value in this previous I variable. If we check and if we find that both are equal, then we will break. So this break is for the first while loop, this while loop. Okay, so let's move forward. And now we are here actually removing the duplicates from each row of the data frame. So this will remove titles which only differ at the end by one or two words. So after doing this deletion, our data points have reduced to 17k. So initially we had seen our data was around 18k. Now it has been reduced to 17k. So this 17k data we are going to pickle. So pickle is a Python file which is used for serializing and deserializing data. So if we pickle the file, it will be serialized, and if we depickle the file, it will be deserialized. So now from this pickle file, we will be reading the data and we will be storing it in this variable called data. Now we will be doing some language processing here with the titles of each product. So now we are downloading the stop words library. So stop words are basically the words in a language which does not give us much information about the content. So you can say a and the, okay, or some other such words are considered as stop words. So now here we are in this stop words variable, we are just considering stop words of the English language. And now we are here defining a new function where we will be taking total text, index and column of from the data frame as inputs. Now if total text is not an integer, then we will define an empty string. And now we will check if there are any stop words or any special characters. So here if you see, we are checking if there are special characters or any symbols in the title. If there are, we will be removing them, and we are going to convert the title into lowercase. Now in the title there are some words uppercase and some are in lowercase. To maintain the uniformity, we will be converting the words into lowercase. And now we will be checking if that word is in stop words. If it is not in stop words, that is the word is not such like these words, then we will append the string, the empty string with that word, and then we will be storing this string in the data variable. So here we are basically using a for loop, and we are calling the same function recursively, and we will be passing title of each row of the data frame. Now let's go to the display of our result. So in our result, we will be not only recommending the products with titles, but we'll also be displaying the images. So for this we are defining this display image function, where we will be taking the URL of the image as an input. So we'll get the URL of the apparel and we'll download it, and then we will display it. So now we will also be plotting heat maps to make comparisons between the recommendation and the product that is searched. So see here, what we are doing is we are now dividing our display into two parts in the 4:1 ratio. So in the first part we will be plotting our heat map. As you see here, all this is for plotting the heat map. So here we will be making comparisons between two titles, and then we will plot a heat map. Here as you see, the x-axis will have labels as the words of the title, and the apparel title will be set as the title for the heat map. So this is in the first part of our display. In the second part of our display, we will be plotting the image of the apparel. So this is what we are doing, and as there won't be any grid or any x or y axis, and so we will be setting the grid as false, and x and y text will be empty. So this is how we are now here calling the display image function, which we defined earlier, and then we will be plotting the combined figure, that is the heat map and the image together. So now here we are creating the heat map. So here we will be considering two vectors. Now these vectors are the titles, so the titles will be converted into vectors. We will see how, and then we will be comparing them, comparing the values. So in case if there are no intersecting words in both of the titles, then its value will be set to 0. Okay, so if not an intersection, vector 2 of I is 0. So this will show the difference between the two titles. Now I know this is very confusing, but once we see the result, you will understand what exactly we are doing. So this will be for labeling the heat maps, and now we are using the bag of words model here. So bag of words is a very popular model for recommendation system, so we will be using that. And if the model is bag of words, then label is equal to values. Now there are many models such as TF, IDF or IDF, and similar to such models which have been used for recommendation system. Here we are using the bag of words model. So now with all these inputs, keys, values, label, URL and text, we will be plotting our heat map. Okay, so now as I said, we will be using vectors of the titles. So this function text to vector will be converting our title into vectors. So words stores a list of all words in the given string. So now this statement can also be replaced by this statement, words is equal to text dot split. The result will be same. So you can alternatively use this also. Now the resultant function are here we will be taking doc ID, content A, content B, URL and model as the input. So text 1 content is equal to content A, and text 2 is equal to content B. So as I said, we will be taking into consideration two titles, and we would be comparing it. So here as you see, for vector 1 we will be calling the text to vector function, and we will pass the text 1. Similarly again we will call the function and create the vector 2 for text 2, and then we will plot the image, a heat map image with doc ID, vector 1, vector 2, URL, text 2. So this is our recommending products, text and the model. So if you see, this is our code flow for the bag of words method. So you'll get the result from then text to vector conversion, then we'll plot the heat map image, then we'll plot heat map and display the final image. So now here in this cell we are basically converting each of the data point into vector, and we will be using sklearn.featureExtraction.text and counter vectorizer libraries here. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now this is the bag of words model. So your doc ID is apparel's ID in the given corpus. Also, pairwise distance will store the distance from given input apparel to all remaining apparel. So from what we are considering as the search product and are recommending products, we will be calculating their distance as we had vectors of the title. So through those vectors we will be calculating pairwise distance of each of the recommending product. And now np.argsort will return indices of the smallest distance. So smaller the distance, more similar will be the recommending product to the search product. So this we will be storing into indices. Now PDISTS will store the smallest distances. So we will sort all the distances that we have got and we will be storing it into this variable. Okay, now for our display we will be displaying all this information, that is the doc ID, title 1, title 2, URL and the model. So if you see, we will be calling the get result function and we will be passing all this value. So doc ID, then first title of first product, title of second product, then the images URL and our model. Okay, and in the display we would be displaying all this data. So our AS index, the brand of the product, the title of the product and the Euclidean similarity with respect to the query image. That is, we will be displaying the Euclidean similarity value between the product that is searched and our recommending product. And now we are here calling the bag of words problem. So now if you see, the first parameter is the product ID and this second parameter is the number of products we want to be recommended. Okay, so if I search a product, I will be recommended 20 similar products. This value we can change. So let's see with this first value what kind of output we get. So this is, just a second. So if you see, oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is our searched product and this is the title of the product. So Philo lady size long sleeve button, front blouse, red medallion, print, etc. So what here we are doing, if you see, all these values is 1. As I had said, if the words are matching, the value will be 1 and the color will be dark, and if there are no matching words, the color will be white. So now since here all this title is getting compared with itself, the heat map is showing us only this 1 as the value for each of the word. And as I had mentioned, we will be displaying all this. So AS index, brand, title and the Euclidean similarity with the query image. So here you can see the similarity is 0. Okay, so this is our product. And if you see the recommending product, so now if you see, if you compare the first first title, like this title and this title, here you see there is a very slight difference. So here we had blouse red, here we have blouse snake, and we don't have print L. So we don't have L in the previous one, but we have L here. So you can see in the heat map, the snake and the L have 0 values, just because they are not similar to the product that is to be searched. But all the other words in the title of this product are similar, are exactly same to the product that was searched. So this will be a recommendation, as there are only two words that are not matching. So here also, if you see, we have displayed all the information, and here the Euclidean similarity value is 2. Similarly, this is our second product that we are recommending. Here also there is a slight change in the Euclidean similarity value. So similarly, we will be displaying all the products that are similar. So if you observe, our search product had long sleeves, so most of the products that are being recommended are with long sleeves. So if you see, this one is not. So here there is a lot of difference in the heat map, and the Euclidean similarity value is also greater. So this is how our recommendation system is been working. Yeah. So these are around 20 products, as we had mentioned. These are all around 20 products that are being recommended with respect to what our product was searched. Okay, so as you see, as we go lower, the Euclidean similarity value is being increasing. So smaller the Euclidean similarity value, the occurrence of the product will be prior. So yeah, so if you see now, if I change this value and we'll run this cell, let's see what our recommendation system recommends. Yeah, so let's check. So yeah, so our searched product is this, and now what recommendations we are getting are here. So if you see, we don't have much products here that are exactly similar to what is searched, but the most similar are displayed here. Yes. So this is how our project is working, and this is all from my side. Thank you all.